Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Coming right back at you with the second part. By the way, the first part of this video, I totally forgot to make sure that it was private, but it was published by mistake. Sorry about that, because I forgot. I didn't edit it. I didn't work on it. I didn't put the links that I promised that I was going to send. But this time I'm gonna do it for both, for the first part and the second part. So here we go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, okay, the reason I will keep talking about this is because people keep pushing the issue. People are still working us, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, do not forget the links. There are going to be some very interesting links in below the description. Okay? By the way, those who do not remember their past are condemned to repeat it, right? I'm sure we heard of that. We heard of that before. Well, guess what? Here we go again. History is repeating itself. Okay? And like I said on my first video, God's people, which are the Native Americans, Hispanics, and blacks. Okay? Whether you want to believe it, I'm only here to try to open your eyes. It's up to you. Okay? The whites are Edomites. They're the descendants of Esau, Jacob's brother. But here we go. Now, should we hate our white sisters and brothers and sisters? No, of course not. We should love them, and we should try to help them. We should be a light, but no, we are letting ourselves be worked by them. Okay? In this George Floyd's death. George Floyd's death has been hijacked. Okay, I'm sure that if he would have been here, he would be saying, "Hey, Ruben, sorry, people, Ruben is right. You know, this brother right here, he's telling you all the truth. Are you ready for the truth? You all hijacked my death. My brother said it about the writers, you know, destroying minority. Obviously, actually, we are not the minority, we are the majority, but they keep us divided. They divide us. And I'm going to give you some good example as we go along. See, that's how they do. They divide and conquer. Order out of chaos. Remember that? That's how they govern. Another way that they use, they create a problem. They watch people's reaction, and then they bring you the solution. Problem, reaction, solution. The Hegelian dialectic. So that has always been the motto in reigning over people. Okay? So, as I mentioned on my last video, okay, and making the connection as to Al-Qaeda, the creating of Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Federal Reserve, the IRS, the abortion, 9/11, invasion of Iraq, which killed 1.2 million people. Okay? Now, having said that, let's take a look at the history of the dynamics of deception that have been played on our people. Okay? Okay? First of all, they created a hoax. They created a virus. They kept people locked up. People were upset. People were full of anger and frustration, ready to explode like a powder keg. And no one is better at that than God's people. The Native Americans, Hispanics, and African Americans. Which, by the way, I don't like to use that term because that's another way of mockery. See, African Americans, how can you identify yourself based upon two continent. You know why? Because these people hate black folks. Why? Because remember, what did I say? Reuben's, out of the 12 tribes of Israel, which we descend from, Reuben messed things up. He was the firstborn, and he lost that right. He lost the privilege of the firstborn. So because of what he did, he lay with his father's wife. Then it was given to Judah, and Judah messed up, which is where the African Americans, in fact, African Americans have been the most conspired against people on this planet. Okay, even though the Indian folks were already suffering under this continent before the first slaves came on shore back in 1619, back in the early 1600s on Plymouth Rock. Here we go. So what have they done? Just like they created religion, they have created different groups within the black community to keep us slaves and to keep us in fact, let me give you an example. Black Lives Matter was created by George Soros. Now, what will make you think that a George Soros, who's a Freemason and a satanic, will love our people? That doesn't even begin to make any sense. Black Lives Matter was created by him and financed by him. Okay? So Black Lives Matter, really, the minute that you say Black Lives Matter, right there, see what I'm saying? See the psychological divide that they create? Right there, it tells you Black Lives Matter, no other lives matter. No, it should be the human life matters. In fact, you're going to see the different example that I'm going to send you the links where many people, many of our black people, black folks have been killed by the police. Okay? So I'm sorry, Black Lives Matter is a wrong way of looking at things. No, human life matters. Because before we are black, we are humans. You understand? And before we are humans, we are spirit. We are the children of God. We belong to God's Israelites, to God's people. All right? So, but since our people do not, and I repeat, do not understand or appreciate the history, are not aware of the history. In fact, let us go to Isaiah 5 for 1 second, which proves what I'm talking about. See, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Bible-based platform. Now, the reason that I do this is because I have done many years of research. I have been part of many religions, and I saw the truth. And my job is to wake you up, because things are only gonna get worse for our people. Okay? Chapter 5, Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, and the honorable men are famished, and the multitude dried up with thirst. 14. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it. And that's exactly where most of our people will descend to. And that's most of our people are in right now because we have been hijacked. Okay? Now, here we go. Now you may say, Ruben, what makes you talk about this? Because I love my brothers and sisters. I came from a black man. So I want you to understand the root cause of all of our sufferings. And how you see throughout history, many different factions conspired against us. In fact, I suggest that you read the whole chapter 28, Deuteronomy 28, and you see the history of our people. In particular, Judah's descendants, which are, again, the African Americans. So we have been outraged at what happened to George Floyd. Of course. By the way, if you were to ask me, Ruben, do you think, given the fact that the police officer that killed him and George Floyd knew each other, that George Floyd's dad was a Mason, when you consider all of that, Ruben, do you, or the fact that George Floyd was once part of a pornography thing called the Habibi Show. It's an underground pornography thing that he had going. All right. If you were to ask me, do I think that this thing was all set up? That he's probably alive and kicking somewhere? No. Here's why I don't think so. I tell you the people that are still alive, and they have told us that they are dead. For instance, let me give you a list. Michael Jackson, he's still alive. Joan Rivers, remember Joan Rivers, the comedian that was supposedly killed at 81 years old? She's still alive. David Bowie, the singer from England, the rocker, remember? The transgender rocker, he's still alive. Epstein, remember the Lolita Express, the guy that used to own a big island? Well, guess what? He's still alive. So Tupac Shakur, he's still alive. Okay? These people have duped us. But when it comes to George Floyd, he was a sacrifice. This young man was a sacrifice. So he was killed. That's my opinion. Now, you may disagree. Well, then we should respectfully agree to disagree. Okay? I mean, the police officer wanted this man. He wanted him to be killed so bad that even when the paramedic came, he didn't want to take his knee off his neck. Now, do I think that this was done by design? You bet your life it was. Of course, the police officer was told to do this. Okay? Right in front of camera for the whole wide world to see. And that is exactly what has caused this outrage worldwide in 4 continents: Asia, Europe, Africa, and the Americas. But I have a few questions. Are you ready for some of these questions? Where was the rage when actually 10 people were killed just in the Memorial Day of this year, in the hoods of Chicago? Well, where's the rage there? There was 10 people killed and 39 people wounded just on the on Memorial Day weekend. Now, from January 1st through May of this year, there have been 85 killed brothers and sisters in the hoods of Chicago. 409 were shot. Where's the rage there? Where are the riots? You see what I mean? See the irony here? Are you started to feel me? Okay. Number 3. Where was the rage for when the Black Panther Party, which was created by the government and then used by the CIA and subsequently created the gang culture? What was the rage there? You see, we are too blind. See, I'm originally from New York. I grew up in New York. But I'm aware as to why my black people, my Latin brothers and sisters, and Native Americans suffer. Do you? And that's exactly what I'm here for, to tell you. Number 4. Where's the rage for politicians in Hollywood bailing out writers that destroy minority-owned businesses, especially in Minneapolis? Which, by the way, even George Floyd's brother and family have spoken strongly against it. Where's the rage in that? Number 5. Where's the rage over the satanic and evil media like CNN, MSNBC, Fox, justifying, well, not Fox, but justifying rioters? So do you see who? Do you now see who is really at play here to destroy the African American, Latin American, and Native American people? And how they are going about it? George Floyd's death has been hijacked, ladies and gentlemen, worldwide. What a joke. In fact, George Floyd's death the outrage has been again spread. It spread so quickly over all the world. Doesn't that remind you of something? Of the pandemic. Of the pandemic that they had. Remember how this coronavirus started? Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, I want you to understand, before I keep going, I want you to understand something very, very clear here. I don't make no money. I don't care to make money making videos. My job here is to make you see. You don't have to subscribe to my channel. I mean, it would be nice for you so that you be the first one to get, but I don't push the issue. I don't push the envelope. You have to make the decision. Because after all, our existence are based on taking the right decision at the right moment. You have young brothers and sisters out there destroying minority-owned business. I met some of them. I talked to some of them in Minneapolis. It's sad. Because when people's emotions are twisted, the worst come out of them. That's when the devil come calling. And this young man, as they were riding, for instance, Target, they were actually stealing. And the system, you play right into the system's hand, into the system, into this evil system hands. You are showing your true colors. Now, do I agree with peaceful protesters? Of course. In fact, I was one of the first people to walk on the first march. But to see it turn out the way it did, what a shame. I wasn't protesting. I was just walking along with people. We need to wake up. We need to have a strong relationship with our Creator before things hit the fans. Because this world, the United States of America, with this pandemic, and then this George Floyd's thing, is not going to be the same. This whole world is not going to be the same. Okay? Show your best colors. But yes, protesting. So this is a spiritual war, ladies and gentlemen. Even at the place where George Floyd was killed, you hear shooting. You hear gunshots. You hear people crashing into things. You hear people. Not widely, even people robbing people at gunpoint. Because you got provocateurs, you got agitators. Because that's how they conspire against us. See, they want us to kill each other. They know exactly how we were going to react. So here we are. We play right into their hand. I love my brothers and sisters. You think you have problems? You don't have problems. You're going to see the problems with how black people were burned alive at the stake. I'm going to send you some links. You think this thing just started? No. They hate us. Remember when the order was given that every boy under 2 years or younger, when Moses was born, okay, he was given that they should all be thrown in the river and killed. The same thing happened when Christ, Yahushua, our Savior, was born. I want to see how the 4th of July is going to be this year. I want to see how Christmas is going to be this year. I want to see how Happy New Year, which are all paganistic. That's another thing, people. Our people we were never told to celebrate these pagan holidays. See, so the devil have played us any which way but loose, like that old movie. Okay? So he got us mentally. He took our mind, and now we are kneeling before him. In fact, in some of the riots, some of the gatherings concerning George Floyd, you got some people say his name. What? Are we worshiping a man? What can we say? Can we say Yahushua's name? The one that's going to save us, the one that died for us on the cross. So that we can put an end to all of this. A man shall not be worshipped. His death shall be respected, okay, and remembered. But not being worshipped. Let's keep going. Let us go to Amos. Amos 3, verse 2. Amos 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I would punish you for all your iniquities. You see? Is he saying that the whole world? No. He's talking about a particular people, ladies and gentlemen, which is again, the Native Americans, the Indian Hispanics, the brown people, and the African American, the Judah. Okay? All right. Now you may say, well, Ruben, who are these people? Well, good question. Let us go to Psalm 83. And verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. You see? These people hate us, ladies and gentlemen. And all I gotta say, for all the people that don't think that this is true, okay, I'm gonna read you Revelation 22, verse 11. You can keep on doing whatever you want. You can keep on thinking that I'm crazy. But here's what it says. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. In other words, you make the decision as to what you are going to be. Quickly, I'm going to read you some verses out of Deuteronomy 28, starting on verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fare with longing for them all day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand. Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. 34. So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. So you see, so by nature we black people, Hispanic and Native American, have this rage inside of us. We're walking around, oh, these damn crackers. See? We gotta put that to the side and understand that we have been punished and cursed because we have forgotten our Creator. That's what the root of the problem is. And that's why they're distracting you with all this organization throughout our history. Black Lives Matter, the Black Panther Party, the Civil Rights Movement, which I told you about, which is the Civil Rights Movement was started because a civil war was going to break out in the United States back then. And then they brought up Martin Luther King, who is a Mason. I already sent you a link on that. Okay? 35. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs, with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. Okay? Now you may say, well, what do you mean, wood and stone? Well, the Roman Catholic Church, they worship a false Christ, and his name is not even Jesus Christ. That's Caesar Borgia. Okay? See the lies? We have been tricked, ladies and gentlemen. Wake the hell up. Now you may say, well, then what about the stone, Reuben? Well, those are the Muslims. The Islamic faith, which was created by the Roman Catholic Church 1500 years ago. Do your research. And what does religions do? It divides us.